So after we made the triangle style spanakopita, we're gonna make just a sheet pan style, which is much easier. You don't have to fold each one and all that. I have some leftover spinach mix, so I'm gonna do a tray of Spanakopita. This is a quarter sheet pan, which is about 13 by 9. So I got some phyllo. I cut them about the same. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put one sheet at a time. You're gonna divide these sheets into two because you're gonna put some at the bottom, some on top. Then we're gonna butter the first sheet. Phyllo dries up very fast, so you gotta cover it in between usages, and you gotta butter it when you're using it. And then you have to tightly roll it up in plastic or parchment paper. If you're gonna freeze it, put it in a Ziploc bag. Phyllo is wonderful. Very, very thin sheets of pastry. They are rolled out so thin, and they're used all over the world. A lot of countries use it for different ways, different recipes. The Germans love to make, the Germans and the Austrians love to make their own, which is very time consuming. I met a lady who was taking a class with me in Austria, and she said she wakes up at 4 every morning to make her own pastry, rolls it out so thin to make apple strudel every morning. Wow. I don't think I can go that far. Anyway, so we're gonna put a few sheets, butter them, and now we will put the leftover spinach in there, then top it with the remainder of the phyllo sheets. Like I said, this is the easy way of doing it. Beautiful day to stay inside, bake and cook, and keep a nice warm kitchen when it's, I think it's 55 degrees today outside. I'm gonna spread it out. Now that the spinach filling is all spread out on the bottom sheets, we're gonna start doing the same with the top. We will butter each sheet until they're all used up. Boy, I can't wait to bake these wonderful Spanakopitas. The smell of the melted feta, parmesan, mint, and spinach is unbelievable. Now that I put the last sheet, before I butter that last sheet, I'm gonna cut little incisions, so when everything bakes, because it gets very crunchy when it bakes, then at least we had the incisions in there, and it'd be much easier to take one piece at a time from the pan. So I'm doing across 4. This is coming out as 20 pieces. You can make it bigger or smaller, but it's always better before you put the last butter brushed on the last layer to cut it, because the butter makes it stick and it's just kind of difficult. Then I'll go and butter every angle of it on the top, and boy, would that be super for a snack, a dinner, a tea party, lunch, a quick lunch, even breakfast. Ta-da! We're putting it in a 350 oven. See you in a bit. All right. Since we're still on the subject of Greek food, and I still have some phyllo, how about dessert today? Baklava. So once again, there's different brands of phyllo, and you find them in the freezer department of the grocery stores or Middle Eastern stores. This one is Apollo. I've been using for years. So what I did is I'm gonna make a small pan. It's about 13 by 9. It's a quarter of a sheet pan, and I cut the phyllo about the same size. And whatever is left, it needs to be rolled tightly in parchment paper, in the original paper it came in, plastic, whatever, if you're not going to use the rest of it today. So we are going to do the same as the Spanakopita pan. We have melted butter. So it's about a stick of butter melted. And we will brush a couple of sheets at a time. Now baklava, the Greeks claim they came up with it first. The Arabs think, no, it's us. The Armenians, the Turks, the Persians, the Egyptians, everybody claims it's theirs. And every country has its own style of what they put in it and the syrup that goes on top. For instance, the Persians use pistachio and they used rose water in their honey syrup. For some reason, I don't like rose water. I never really enjoyed it in my desserts. The Greeks like to put walnut and cinnamon. So I'm gonna do a cross. I have pistachios. I don't have enough walnuts today, and in this kind of weather, hell, if I'm gonna go out there, get walnuts. But I have a lot of chopped pistachios, so I'm gonna use that. And yesterday, it's always good to prepare things in advance so you're not overwhelmed the day of. So yesterday I made my honey syrup, and it was basically 1 cup of sugar to 2 cups of water, put on low heat until it starts thickening, and I like to put a stick of cinnamon in there. And towards the end, when it looks it's getting, half the size, half the amount that it started with, then I add a cup of honey and I let it all mix on low heat. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't thicken too much, just enough consistency to get it to spread over the sheets of phyllo once they're baked. So we're gonna use half the sheets at the bottom, and we're always gonna save enough, the other half, to put on top. See, they tear very easily, but it's okay. You can't see it, it's inside. Now I'm gonna put a nice layer of pistachio, chopped pistachio. You can also make multiple layers, like 4 layers of phyllo, then pistachio, then more 4 layers, so you have different. So I think I want to do that. It's nice and layered, so you can see the pistachio on different layers when you cut it through it. So now we're going to add maybe 2 phyllo sheets at a time. Always make sure you have enough for the top layer. So count your layers or eyeball it or something so you don't run out. So I'm going to put another layer of 2 sheets. You can do every sheet, but it gets boring sometimes. It takes a long time. 2 sheets is fine. Whatever suits you. The result is pretty much the same. So we're gonna layer that again with brushed butter. And boy, does it smell wonderful in the oven when it's cooking. Now we're gonna add another layer of pistachio. You can do layers of pistachio and then maybe another layer of walnuts if you have enough. But today I just have enough pistachios. A nice warm piece of baklava out of the oven with the honey syrup on top. Boy, it changes every mood to the best. Boy, these winds out there are just getting my allergies going. So again, we're going to put 2 more layers in butter until the last layer. So here we are, the last layer. And we're going to cut it before we put the last layer of butter because the butter sticks to the knife and makes a mess. So I think I want to cut it in this one. You can eat it warm, you can eat it hot. You can warm it up, chop it up, and put it over ice cream when it's nice and warm. I had that at a Greek festival one time and oh my god, I got hooked on that. So basically, when it's cooked and it's still warm, or you can put it in the microwave the day after, whatever, and just kind of with your hands kind of crumble it and put it on top of vanilla ice cream. Yum yum. The flaky phyllo dough and the nuts inside. So I'm doing little small squares. I'm sending some off to an elderly friend of mine that's been craving Greek Armenian food for a long time, so I hope it comes out beautiful and she loves it. So here we did 2, 3, 6 times 4, 24 pieces. You can trim the ends a little bit. And now we're gonna brush the top. Don't worry if it sticks to the brush or whatever, that's fine. The trick is to just cover every piece. And when you put it in a 350 oven, it's about, I would say, maybe 40 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. Every oven is different. And it has a beautiful golden top. Don't let it brown too much. Take it out of the oven. Put the syrup on it. And it's ready to go.